I thought it would be really good if we did a little bit of a role play where I would perhaps be a line manager of someone from BAME background, and you being my coach, so you can help me having those conversations, opening the eyes and supporting or growing or whatever it should be. Probably we'll get there through the
Yeah,
conversation.
sure.
And I'm hoping this role play will help some of the leaders who I know there are many of them who want to do the right thing, but maybe sometimes they overthink it or are worried. So I'm going to try to channel those fears into the conversation. So see where it's going to take us to.
Okay, cool. Hello, Anna.
Hello, Louisa.
So tell me, what are your challenges, your critical challenges that you need resolving today?
So I am a manager with 6 months experience. I really want to do well. I have a team of 3. One of them is from the BAME background, and I know, obviously, I'm very aware of diversity and inclusion efforts. I've read some stats about the BAME progression, and I would like to help my colleague, but I really don't know how to start because I don't want to offend them. I don't know what's the right thing to say. So what should I do, really?
Okay. So what have you tried already, Anna?
I'll have to be honest, I haven't tried anything because I'm really worried that I'm going to say the wrong thing or that I'm going to offend them. I don't want to make it worse.
Okay, all right. So I think the best thing to do is to try and keep it simple. So I think in terms of your first meeting, the idea is to prepare well. So you'll probably need to speak to HR around what your concerns might be around any BAME progression issues, what the policy is around development for specific people in different characteristics. But I think initially when you go into the meeting, it's about you being your authentic self as a leader,
okay,
and being curious and asking loads of questions, and also asking your BAME team member how they want you to approach this. What's the best way to get the best out of the relationship that you're going to have as a leader, as a line manager, as a mentor, etc. So asking them, first of all, introducing who you are as a person, what you love to do, how you like to work, how you communicate best, and asking the same questions about the individual. So and maybe ask them a little bit about their work history, what brought them to your team.
Yeah.
You probably already know that because somebody's done the interview process, but you probably know a little bit about them. So you could ask them specific questions about the roles and their skills. And then you might want to then talk about their development plan. But say to them that you're a little bit nervous about having the conversation with them. That's probably why it's a little while to have this initial conversation, because you have you just want to make sure that you do this the right way. You're not, you are going to ask you some questions, and they might come across as dumb questions, but you hope not to offend, because you want to address the point that that they may have different development challenges or aspirations to your other team members because of their origin in terms of their minority ethnicity. And then ask them, how can I be the best manager to you? What are the things that you want to develop within your career that I may be able to support you with? And then I think the key thing is to take notes and to listen to what that person then says. And then going back to how you might be able to address them if you were talking about the person's colour of their skin, for example. You might say, do you wish me to refer to you as a black person or a person of colour, or none of those? And then you wait for that and just say, you want to be able to have an open and transparent conversation, but ideally what you want to do is get the best out of them. So it's really important for you to have a development plan, and then discuss with them what their aspirations are in terms of the role and moving forward, and where they may have development needs, etc.
Okay, so it sounds like it may be just a development conversation rather than anything more specific. Can I ask them if can I be very direct in the sense of, are there any challenges you're experiencing because of your background or because of your race?
I think you could cover that off in the conversation around the roles that they've previously done. Have there been any challenges that they've come across and they feel that might be related to their race? In terms of the role now, you talk to them about the ethos of your team, the fact that you want to make sure everybody feels included and that they belong in your team. Right. And are there any things that you need to look out for, or any questions that they have that need to be answered in terms of that? Okay. So then it makes them feel more comfortable.
It's like a bigger context. It's not directed at them.
Yeah, because then it makes them feel that actually you're having the same conversation with all of their non-BAME colleagues, as opposed to you targeting them because of the color of their skin. So it's just about making them feel comfortable, but you also being vulnerable in that you are not sure exactly how you should do this, and you're asking for their feedback.
Okay. Do you think it is the right thing to do? Meaning, should I be even starting those conversations if I can't see? I mean, I wouldn't say I don't see a problem, but I've noticed that they are not they are not always in the team setup as vocal as others are. So that's probably the biggest thing I've noticed. Is it because of the race, or is it because they are introvert? I don't know. I'm probably making assumptions.
Okay, so what is your gut feeling about that?
Good question. What is my gut feeling? Because with one-to-ones, they are way more open and more direct, with meaning that we are engaging in the conversations on the work, and they are more active. And I see the difference in the team setup, and they are the only one from BAME. So I will say that my gut feeling tells me they are not introvert. That may be something about the team setup or the dynamic of the team meetings that may be a clue for me.
So from that observation, I would say probably because the team is quite young still as a team.
Yes.
And it could be that individual just needs to get to know the other people and to build that trust and that relationship with them, because there are many reports that say that people of color do find it difficult to open up and be their authentic self at work. So whereas somebody might come in and, who's of non-BAME origin might come in and say, this is what I did at the weekend, this is what, where I went, I did football or whatever it might be. Somebody of BAME origin may not want to talk about this, where they went at the weekend. They might, and what they did, because they don't want to be judged by people, and they might find it difficult to open up. So that is something that is, has been reported, that people find it difficult. I think that's the same for people who are LGBTQ, and, people who, they don't want to necessarily bring their whole background to work until they feel that they're in an environment where they're psychologically safe to do so. And so, so it's about, first of all, because your team's quite young, it's about building that trust and getting to know people. And so it might be an idea that when you do your after work, get-togethers, that might be an opportunity for that person to open up. But in the work setting, they may feel that they need to be a different person in the work setting to the one that they're outside of work. And it's about how important is that in terms of their performance. And if, for example, in a meeting that person is not contributing in the way that you feel they should be, then it's giving them the constructive feedback to support why it's important for them to be able to do that. And if there is a barrier, it's using your coaching skills to identify why they feel that they're unable to do that.
So
but also sharing with them why it's important to do that, because there is this thing around visibility as well, that if you're not visible within a corporate environment, then it's difficult for people to identify where your true skills, your true strengths. So you do need to be able to shine, and that's what you're trying to get across to the individual, it's important for them to shine within their role, and you want them to be the best person that they can be so that you can support their growth. So they need to put some of that work in. So even though they might not want to share too much of themselves, it's really important that when you're building your team, that people feel comfortable enough to do that. And if there is an issue around that, so it could be that, you know, if it's, for example, you've got, if that person in your team is a woman and the rest of your team are male, that might also be a reason why that person's not engaging. So, so it's understanding what the barriers are.
Okay, so I'm guessing I could just use that example, describe what I've noticed, and ask them what they think about it, what they feel about it.
Yeah. How do they feel about that? So one thing you could do is explain to them that it's really the reason why it's really important for them to contribute to the best of their ability within these meetings, is that it's important for them to shine and share their skills and share their strengths. Because, for example, if somebody from another team is looking for somebody from your team to present, you need to be able to feel confident and comfortable that that person is ready for it, can do it, and, you know, has the ability to shine. So what you want to do is bring out the best in that person. And in your team, what you want people to be able to do is feel safe to fail, say the wrong thing, be comfortable enough to do that, so that, you know, they fail within that small, safe environment, and so that they can grow and go out and be the person that they can be. So it's about making that person feel really that they belong, part of your team, and that you're the leader that's going to take them to the next level in their career.
Great. And on that note of feeling safe to say something wrong, is there anything I could do wrong? Is there any no question or anything that I should never be asking, or the way?
I think it depends on the individual. I think your role as a leader is really to get to know that person, so that you understand what will be the right thing to say in whatever situation it might be. But being curious enough to ask the questions and caring enough to ask the questions. But yeah, being your authentic self as a leader is the most important thing, and asking those questions.
Great. I think I can picture that, because we can chat. We can have normal conversations. So I think I feel way more at ease that I could do it in the first place by just opening. Basically, what you are saying, if I understand correct, is just put it over to them, because they know what they need better than anybody else. They are experts in themselves.
Yeah.
So
what you have to do is set the scene so that they feel comfortable enough to be able to share with you, you know, what their deepest fears are, what are their barriers, how uncomfortable a conversation might make them feel. So you have to set the scene around who you are as a person, as a leader, what you hope to get out of the team, etc., to make that person feel, okay, so you've opened up to me. You know, even if you share things that, you know, that you experiences where you felt uncomfortable, or you have a fear or something, even if you share that with that person, it allows them to then be open with you in the same way.
Perfect. Is there anything you think I should ask you?
Anything you should ask me?
Yeah, anything that I didn't ask you, or if anything you think I should know?
I don't know, really.
Maybe I've asked you the right questions, so that's a good sign. I mean, I feel more comfortable now, so I feel like even if I didn't ask you, and even if you think about this magic question tomorrow, I think I'm way more comfortable now having that chat, and let myself be led by the people I'm working with in that aspect. And if I understood that correctly, if I can put the bigger context, what I'm trying to achieve as a leader, what I'm trying to achieve with the team, what I care about, what my values are, that's going to be a safer way of doing it for everyone, including myself.
Yeah. I suppose it's just about being human at the end of the day.
I know. It's perfect. So I think that was a very good exercise. Thank you.